This is my review of Mission Impossible 2 and Mission Impossible 3. Third installment. They both get a 5 out of 10. Not crazy about either one for me. So third one next to Fallout is my favorite Mission Impossible movie out of all of them. Because to me it's the most that comes close to making sense of a story, as a free act structure of a story comes close. Telling a free act structure while feeling like Mission Impossible, the closest to the show, which is 3 and Fallout. Fallout, I think, is better, more close to the show than the third one came close ever. But my downside with Fallout is that it's trying to do too much at one time, in one flick. So the third one, on the other hand, it feels like it really wants to play it safe. Too safe, actually. Like, to a point, the third one feels like we've been here before with Mission Impossible was the show. But it feels like, but the problem is, these aren't the characters from the show. These are different characters in the movies. They're the ones in the show timeline has different rows of characters, characters the team's on, of Mission Impossible, who's on the team. So what I'm saying is, this would be a 10 out of 10 if it was a direct adaptation and a sequel continuation of the original Mission Impossible show. But it's not. MI3 is not. It is his own thing. And I feel like it feels unfinished at times in terms of pacing issues. Like, I feel like we're missing at least the middle of the story. But we only have the beginning and end. It's almost like someone decided to cut out the middle. And we missed all of those reasons why we should fight film with Stephen Hoffman, intimidate, or give a shit. Other than, hey, it's Ethan being the main premise and the main focus of the narrative for the Mission Impossible movie since day one, so that's the only reason why. And it could redeem itself if it had a really cool boss fight, but it does not have a climax at all. This is the one Mission Impossible movie where there is no climax between the hero and the villain of the story. Yeah, out of all the Mission Impossible movies, this is the one where they decide to skip the climax and not put it in the movie. And kill the main villain off with a car, getting a hit and run. Scenario killed off. So that's how Phil will see from all the time. But it's sad because it seems like he's enjoying the role as a villain, because he does a good job, as he what you expect to see from film or Stephen Hoffman performance. But I feel like his talent is a bit wasted for this movie, and he's not given a whole lot to do in this movie to really stretch out his acting chops and show what he can do with the role and have fun. So I feel like he's like his Joker in a way, although the Dark Knight did a smart thing in not killing that character off. So maybe that's a better movie. Than MI3. So yeah, MI3 gets a 5 out of 10. And story of M. Night 2, also known as Mission Impossible 2, also known as the one that people remember, where they didn't try really at all to make a team movie, instead of making a Tom Cruise movie, him against all odds, to stroke his ego of how cool he is, basically, of how cool he thinks he is. I mean, it's cool, the actions he does. MI2 and from here on out is when they started to get more practical and actually shoot the action for real, as it was happening on set, and have crews do the stunt work. Once it got to MI2 and from beyond, they leaned more towards the spectacle of real doing it for real after the first one. So that's good. Positive right direction for action. However, that's all the movie I feel like has to offer me. When it comes to blowing my mind, is the action scenes are really creative, but the story's a little generic, and so is the love interest between East and Hunt and this girl that we never see in the franchise. Although they're cute together, the story is a bit generic. Of how the story's like, it feels like one of those stories like you feel like you heard before by someone who just, like, by a friend of yours who just saw this really absurd movie called Mission Impossible, but let's say something else, and he's skipping all the important premise of the movie, but then when you see it yourself, you realize this movie's not as good as the person made it out to be. But it's not because he skipped it, left anything out high. It's just because the person's stupid and doesn't know any better. Like Bob the bus driver that used to drive me when I was a kid. This is the kind of dumb movie that he would think is a 10 out of 10. Because he would see great value in it. When I see nothing impressive. 5 out of 10. Now we get to the last one, Mission Impossible Fallout. So Mission Impossible Fallout is the final installment before part 1 of Dead Reckoning. I'm going to when I see it. Is the newest one. It gets a 5 out of 10 for me. It's doing too much, and in the entire movie there's too many plot elements I feel like it's trying to juggle, along with very creative action scenes that are really fun and enjoyable to watch. It's trying to juggle. That's like, there's too much plot and there's too much action to really get invested. Like you want to. There's too much plot and too much action, I feel like, going on too often in this one. Like, it's trying to do this whole mythology world building. This is the first one that's doing this world building and expanding on the lore of Mission Impossible. It looks like he's trying to set up a cinematic universe. Fallout is aiming towards and showing a bigger world this time, so that's pretty cool. Well, showing all the other films are linked together somehow. So we finally got basically this somehow ties all the films together. Past films Fallout does, and the first time it tries to show world building, and it's a little jarring, them trying to show a bigger world, which is in Mission Impossible movies. Like, now, it's a little odd, I think. It just tells me that they're running out of ideas. Especially to do stuff with Tom Cruise in his Mission Impossible run. It feels like. That's what Mission Impossible Fallout tells me. That they're running out of ideas, but they just want to end it on a good note. Then we have Reckoning. Part 1. Then that came out. Okay, I thought the Fallout was going to be the last one, but I guess 2 more. Really trying to milk this cow for all it's worth. Yeah. Until it runs dry. Like Marvel did with their MCU. Owned by Disney. So, Mission Impossible Fallout is a fun movie and all, but it feels a little long at times, because at times, well, it feels a little long at times in certain scenes, and other times it feels a little short in certain scenes. It feels a bit unbalanced, the whole flow of the movie, of trying to get into it while I'm watching it. So 5 out of 10 for me. That's a big reason why I guess a 5 out of 10 the last one. And bye. Subscribe too.